8 things you should never say to a man. Words are very powerful, and when used wrongly, they can destroy in a flash a relationship you've invested so much time and energy to build. Some women's tongues are so sharp and deadly that they can hack a fully grown man's emotions to pieces. Even after you might have apologized and claim you didn't mean what you said, which could be true, it won't make those spiteful words less hurtful. Some of you may already be married, hopeful for marriage, or currently in a relationship. Of course, every circumstance is different, but if you happen to bring up the topic of marriage often and your partner keeps giving you every excuse under the sun as to why marriage should be postponed, then it's probably time for some self-evaluation. One thing with men that is absolutely certain is that they value respect. If you cross that line and disrespect them continuously or even just once, then the relationship is likely to break down irretrievably. It is so easy to kill a man's love, passion and desire for you when you show a flagrant disregard for their opinions and feelings and disrespect them. Your words and actions towards a man carry so much weight. So no matter how beautiful you are or how incredible your figure is or how much sex appeal you have, if there's a lack of respect for him, then this could possibly signal the beginning of the end of your relationship. So if this applies to you, I implore you ladies to please change this behavior instantly. Yes, most hurtful statements are made in the face of anger or provocation. Maybe a man has said something hurtful to you and you want to reply with words that are equally as hurtful as his. He may tackle you head on, or he may just remain silent, but goes on to resent you with his whole being. Disclaimer: for those of you who are planning to leave comments such as, "Why are you blaming the women? What about the men? Sometimes they deserve to be disrespected." Just remember that I created this platform, Woman of Elegance, for you ladies, so you can level up and be the best version of yourself. I'm not here to train the gentleman. But as far as it depends on you, take accountability for your actions and make that concerted effort to change. My wonderful Elegance ladies, welcome back to another video. My name is Vivian, for those of you who don't know, and I am the founder of Woman of Elegance, which is a platform I've created to help women globally become the most elegant, refined, and sophisticated women that they can be. So without further ado, let's get into the list of 8 things you should not say to a man. Point number 1, you're not a man. Do you even consider yourself to be a man? I don't think that there is any level-headed, respectable, masculine man in this world that can stand being made to feel less than a man. Men hate it when their masculinity is being challenged. Asking a man if he thinks he's a man or telling him he isn't one or he isn't good enough is one of the most degrading and hurtful things you can say to him. It calls into question his masculinity, questions his virility, insults his ego, and can batter his self-confidence beyond repair. Telling him things like he's inadequate in bed and that he can't please you when said in the heat of an argument is a recipe for disaster, a complete passion killer. Even in the heat of the hottest arguments, please refrain from saying such things such as, "Are you a man? Do you call yourself a man? Is this how a respectable man behaves? So you're a sorry excuse of a man and you think you're a man," and that kind of thing. Don't put yourself in a position where a man feels he has to prove his manhood to you. The outcome is never pleasant. Point number 2, how dare you? These 3 words are disrespectful, condescending, demeaning, and patronizing. It's probably more appropriate to use that phrase on a teenager who has done something incredibly foolish. When you exclaim to your man, "How dare you?" you're questioning his authority, and his ego will feel naturally threatened and backed into a corner. If your man has done something that you consider offensive or wrong, you can use phrases such as, "Why would you do such a thing?" rather than imperiously asking, "How dare you?" Even if he admits that he's in the wrong and would like to apologize, asking him "How dare you?" would put him more on the defensive. Don't draw an unnecessary battle line by your choice of words. Use milder phrases that could convey what you mean to say and express your displeasure at an action that he took without escalating the situation. Control your tone of voice. Don't yell at him or make him feel like he has no power. Points number 3, all men are trash. Well, if that's the case, then you may need to evaluate the reason why you're currently with one. This and its variations, such as all men are dogs, all men are scum, you guys are all the same, is a mantra that's commonly heard by women who have some unresolved hurt or trauma. However, experiencing hurt, heartbreak or rejection from 1 or even 10 men is no reason why you should generalize all men as worthless. This is a toxic attitude, and it's simply a product of pessimism and distrust. No guy, whether a good one or a bad one, would want to be written off as trash or a dog. Now, how would you feel if a random guy or a guy you just met said, all women are crazy? Would you want to have anything to do with such a person? I bet not. It's really hard to form a connection with somebody who already has a preconceived notion about you. Men avoid women who generalize them because they know it will be a very difficult task to convince her otherwise, and she will always be on the lookout to prove herself right. Point number 4, you're not my type. When a guy asks you out and you don't fancy going out with him for one reason or the other, it's okay to say no. However, just like with every other human interaction, common sense and empathy should be applied. Your manner of approach to a man's proposal, whether it's dating or marriage, matters a lot. It determines whether he will leave with his pride intact and his regard for you higher, or regret ever asking you out and develop a serious resentment towards you and everything you represent. It doesn't hurt to consider how you would like to be treated if the tables were turned. Give him a reason for turning down his proposal, but try not to run him down in the process. I don't really feel a connection, well, on my side at least. Whatever you choose to say or do, try to turn down a man's advances without making him look like he doesn't measure up to the class of men you typically associate with, or make him feel like he has no value. Even if you're infuriated with a guy for having the guts to approach you for a date, I don't know why you might feel that way, but some of you may do, try to act calm. Don't give him that "how dare you even consider that somebody like me would be interested in somebody like you" attitude, and don't say anything that may suggest that. Point number 5, there are better men out there who want me. A lot of women say this in their relationship in the hope that their man will put more effort into the relationship and do better. It may make the man feel insecure at first, but the more he hears these kinds of statements, he becomes fed up and stops making an effort. After all, why should he make an effort? Because you remind him every day that there are other men who want you. Nothing bothers a man like coming to realize that the woman he loves thinks he's not good enough for her. It's heartbreaking, really. As a woman, imagine how you would feel if your man is to give you the impression that he's just managing you and that he can get a better girl just at the snap of his fingers. The fact that you think another guy is better than him is insulting enough. You are really just corroding the relationship. You've hurt his ego, and he may have a difficult time moving past this hurt. There is never a good reason to compare your man to another man. If you have any unmet needs or you feel he isn't living up to your expectations, find a way to say it without giving room for bitterness and resentment. Point number 6. When are you coming to see my parents? And similar statements. When am I seeing you again? When should I expect to hear from you? When are you coming to see my parents? Are some of the statements that belong to the same category of this. They all reek of desperation and can make a guy bolt from the relationship, especially if your relationship with him hasn't advanced much. Quite frankly, men are scared of desperate women and they treat needy women with little respect. Ladies, if it's only one thing you will take away from this video, let it be this. If a man wants you, he will move heaven and earth to get you. So coming to see your parents or whatever will be a priority. If you've been nagging him for the past 2 years to get serious and meet your parents or to take some other important step, and he's giving you all the excuses under the sun, then it's likely he doesn't see a future with you. I will discuss this in more detail in another video. Point number 7. I don't know why I'm wasting my time with you. This really is a low blow and can cause a man to lose respect for the relationship. This is something you may say in the heat of an argument, but this type of statement can ruin a relationship beyond repair. For one, you make it sound like the man is inadequate and lacks some things the guys out there seem to have. And ladies, a woman is usually tempted to say this when she feels she's too good for the man, or the man is not really in the class of men she would like to date, or there is a guy with deeper pockets seeking a relationship with her. Whatever may be the motivation for telling him this, know that you've deflated your relationship and may never get it back to the way it was before. He will always doubt your loyalty or feel you may eventually move on with another man. Point number 8. Be a man, or man up. Men do cry. Maybe not as frequently as we women do, but yes, they do cry. They do get emotional and they do get sad sometimes. And when they do, they're not necessarily seeking for your sympathy or asking you to cry along with them. What they want is just for you to understand that whatever it is that made him cry hurt so badly that the only way he can vent out his emotions is by allowing those tears to drop. So now you can imagine how terribly humiliated he feels when you ask him to man up. To him, it means you're despising him and judging him as being weak in the moment of his vulnerability. It will be very hard for him to trust you ever again with his emotions. He will man up indeed, yes he will, and he will lock up his heart, thus denying you access into his real feelings, and in the worst case scenario, walk into the arms of a woman who dries his tears, comforts him and encourages him to express his feelings. Don't tell a man who is expressing his vulnerable side to be a man or man up. Coming from a woman, this is a very insensitive thing to say. The solution to not making these hurtful statements is by watching your words carefully and thinking before you speak and not allowing your emotions to control you. Apply restraints. Practice self-control and consciousness in order to be able to control any flippancy or carelessness in your speech. Deliberately make it your duty to respect your man both in words and deeds. When you respect and hold somebody in high esteem, it may be difficult to surmount that respect and say words that are hurtful or disrespectful to them. Learn to forgive quickly and overlook some things. When you're very angry and understand that you're at the verge of having a breakdown, which may involve you releasing some uncensored words, find a way to dissipate your anger. Tactfully excuse yourself and leave his presence. Try to engage in activities or thoughts that will help distract you. Play music, listen to a song, read, go for a brisk walk. Find anything you can do to engage your mind and your body. Only speak to him or revisit the conflict when you have your temper under control and are much calmer. Always think before you speak. Before you allow your words to roll off your lips, play it over in your mind. Apply empathy and emotional intelligence. How would this statement come across to him? How would he feel? Ladies, I hope you enjoyed this video and it's given you some serious food for thought. Don't let the sharpness of your words ruin something so valuable. Thank you very much for watching.